Let's go to Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
It's currently 3:44 a.m. This is my first ever solo trip, so I'm kind of nervous. I don't know. I'm super excited. I honestly have been awake since 1 a.m. So let's go to Silicon Valley. So I just landed in Atlanta and I have a little bit of a layover. So just while I do that, I do want to talk a little bit about what the program is and what some of my stats were to get accepted to something super cool like this. The Adobe Student Insider program, from my current understanding, is literally us going to the Adobe Education Summit. They pay for flight, food, travel, vouchers for Ubers, things of that sort, and then we also get a stipend for going. To be selected, I was chosen in 30 out of 8,000 applications to be in this. Some of my personal stats that I really think really stood out. Number one is that I have internship experience. I'm not just somebody that's passionate about, technology. I actually have experience working in the workforce. Not only one, but I've had several work opportunities now where I currently, for instance, I work as a data analyst. Secondly, I do a lot of personal projects. This is where I work on teams of people, whether I'm working on my startup or I've done things in for hackathons. I think showing that drive outside of schoolwork really did also help me. That in addition certifications as well kind of helped me showcase my drive. At the end of the day, I really think that they are looking for drive and ambition for this position. So that's something that really I think was really cool. And the last thing, and honestly the most important thing that really I think made me stand out for this position, is that I do content creation. Despite having a somewhat small community, I post frequently and consistently, and with that I was able to show that I have this long lasting consistent drive to achieve my overarching goal of spreading resources and opportunities to everybody. That's the overarching reason behind this channel, is that I have knowledge in the tech industry and I want to share with other people. Am I the most technical person in the world? No. Am I from a target school? No. But however, I think that genuinely showing my drive and ambition, and then also showing my my want to help other people and my want to share resources really stood out to the application committee, and that helped me overall achieve this really cool thing. So the summit is essentially exposing a lot of the 30 of us that were chosen, as well as educators, and then also some student ambassadors as well for some of your higher institutions. They're exposing all of us to some of their different new and upcoming Adobe products, as well as just this corporate lifestyle. Honestly, I do think it's a recruiting event underneath all of this. So they are definitely looking for people who stand out, people that are really delivering, people that are being attentive, asking the right questions. I think genuinely that's what's going to make me and everybody else here really stand out, is the questions that we're asking, how attentive we truly are, who's really taking the notes here, who's networking afterwards. That's honestly how you get on the list to be then pushed to internships, and then after that, full-time return offers. Okay, quick summit recap before I go to bed. I have one word to describe this entire experience so far after day one, and that is wow. Just wow. This is my first ever real experience with big tech. So it's crazy, the amount of money that these people are working with. And it really dawned on me when we walked past 7 massive building towers of Adobe today. Just 7 huge towers, and they're all interconnected. The architectural design genuinely had me asking who's the architect. We had an Adobe Carnival, so they had fun carnival games for us to play around with. Great networking opportunity. We did speed networking today, where we just got to listen to each other. Quick introductions, name, major, where you're from, things like that. Honestly, first impressions of everybody and everything. These people are such just genuine people. Really when you work in the tech industry, at least from what I've personally experienced, a lot of people that come from big tech kind of have this aura about them, where it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a lot of ambition, it's a lot of drive, but it can also be a bit demeaning in a sense. I think I really also cracked the code on why we were all selected, and it's because we're all driven to spread education. It is literally the Adobe Education Summit. So we were all selected as insiders because we literally do that. We spread education. So I do that via school with leadership and student organizations that provide resources to some of my peers. I teach classes at my institution, and then also I do this. So this is like all three kind of showcased that I really personally like teaching. And after hearing everybody else's stories, we all kind of, follow that same mantra. Also, like, these people have so much money. Look at what they gave us. A freaking Polaroid camera. Every single one of us got this. And now we get to take pictures. They give us fun little cards and some stuff to take pictures with. I also got some merch, but I'll save the full merch haul for the end. But oh my gosh, this is genuinely amazing. After phenomenal day one. I've met genuinely some of the coolest creatives ever. We all have some creative bone in our body where we want to either use Adobe products or use similar products to make a positive impact in the world. And that's just genuinely so refreshing. Genuinely day one wraps. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Only reason it's not 10 out of 10, I'm kind of burned. I'm really, really tired. Plus it's 1 a.m. in my home, and it's people are still out partying, living it up right now. So I don't know, I'm personally drained. So I'm going to go to bed, but I'll see you tomorrow. So today is the morning of day 3. Nice view. I totally forgot to do a recap yesterday. So now I'm going to do a little recap of day 2's events really quickly, and then I'll kind of give you an outline of what's happening today. Yesterday was honestly really great. I couldn't record a lot because I signed an NDA. I'm not really allowed to showcase some of the things, but it was a lot of product feedback for some of the new products that Adobe's going to be releasing. It's honestly really cool kind of seeing their product workflow, especially because, I'm interested in going into product. But additionally, it was just really great. We were able to speak to university recruiters because I'm a leader of one of my campus organizations. So I was able to get some of their contact information. I was able to just listen in on some of the really great pieces of information that a lot of these people had to share. Genuinely, they're so they impart so much wisdom, and it's so helpful, genuinely. Honestly though, my biggest takeaway from yesterday is that you just have to ask, you have to be bold. I personally just started getting a I don't really care attitude, and that honestly helped me a lot with more confidence. I would we would be walking down the hallways, there would be a random employee, and I'll be what do you do? What do you do here? What is your job? What does your day-to-day look like? Stuff like that. And I was okay, what would you do in our position? It was truly eye-opening for some of the advice that they had. A lot of it's generic. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep applying for these programs, essentially. I'll do a more of a deep dive into certain pieces of advice from employees and then some pieces of advice from my peers later on. But truly, it was just a great experience yesterday. I was able to get some merch from Adobe as well. They gave all the insiders this cool little tote bag, which I'm really happy about. It actually looks really nice, but I personally went out of my way to make a purchase because I just think it's fire. I got myself a backpack because I like the backpacks. I like walking around with a company backpack on. I don't know. I think it's cool. And then, I also got a hat yesterday as well, which I'm pretty happy about, honestly. And then I also got myself a quarter zip. But yeah, so today it's going to be a pretty great day. It's a half day for us. So we end at 12. Some people's flights are leaving at 2. My flight is leaving at freaking 10 p.m. So the day is my oyster. I have some people over at Google, so I'm going to try to go tour their HQ. Genuinely, this is such an eye-opening experience. I get to meet so many super cool people with phenomenal backgrounds. These people worked at Amazon, Microsoft, Cisco, Meta, like I said, Apple. They've really been around the block, and they've imparted such truly amazing pieces of wisdom. At the end of the day, I implore every single one of you to just go out, apply to these programs you genuinely don't think you qualify for. It was such an eye-opening day. Loved day 2. Very excited for day 3. Also day 2, that's when we all really started getting close. Some of the friends and I, we explored the town a little bit, got to see some really cool things, look at some local artworks, go to local ice cream shops. It was just truly a truly fun experience. So that's honestly something at the end of the day, you have to talk to people. You have to get out of your comfort zone. That's how you're really going to make yourself memorable. That's how you're going to stand out. And that's how you're going to have the best takeaways. Honestly, you get out what you put in. So you just have to get out of your comfort zone and put in as much as you can. And I'm truly excited to see what today's going to bring. So yeah, let's go. Made it to Atlanta after my red eye flight, and so this is my recap of day 3, and then also just my entire event day recap. Wow, this genuinely was such an eye-opening experience for me, actually going to the West Coast to see what it's like in that Silicon Valley area, that ambition, that drive that people so frequently have and acquire and are pushing. Seeing that firsthand is so valuable to me. This weekend NSF is also the YC startup, so there's so many people that are already in the town. They're doing hackathons, they're doing after parties, things of that sort, just so they can get a network with each other. That's definitely something I'm looking at possibly applying for next year, just because I want to surround myself with more of those driven, ambitious people. It just genuinely that was such a mind-bogglingly amazing experience. Breaking my day into chunks. First, we went to Adobe to wrap up the entire summit. It was really great. We gave a lot more product feedback on some different features, on some program features, community programs, things of that sort. It was honestly really great. I genuinely felt like my opinion was being heard while we were having these discussions, which I personally really appreciated. Adobe, the Adobe team in general, phenomenal. Everybody's so happy. There's definitely times when it's a bit more tense, I can assume, but for the most part, from what I've seen, that's genuinely the happiest campus of tech workers ever. I'll sit with them one-on-ones for some of them, and some of them worked at Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, some of these really big names in tech, and they genuinely the work environment at some of those places are so hostile. You can barely make it 18 months at one of those places because people are just so tense. While Adobe, people genuinely are kind. They're encouraging each other. They have soccer teams. There's always gonna be some kind of incentive for those big tech companies, but it's just really nice seeing it actually play out. Obviously, they were not gonna put the really difficult, tense moments in front of the student, but it was very insightful in general for how they run their company and some of the values that company holds. That's definitely something that I'm looking for a future employer of mine. At the end of the day, if you are doing anything like this, I highly encourage you to really go out of your way and speak to people. I noticed I literally was after day 1, I was kind of in my shell a little bit, and I literally thought to myself, I cannot do that. I literally need to be way more ambitious and outgoing. So we were in an elevator, and I would just be hey, what do you do here? And it was great because it was a great way for me to genuinely hear what people are working on instead of it just being a curated front. The last thing I want is to be put a facade in my face. I want to genuinely hear what people have to say. And across the board, people were super friendly. They were super helpful. They were super informative. My biggest gripe with the entire thing is that it was really short. Personally, I would have liked maybe 2 full days of events and then maybe a half day or 2 half days, something like that, just so we could have had maybe more overlap with some of the other programs that were there at the summit. But then also we could have expressed our opinions more genuinely. The opinions that were being discussed in my cohort, we were just building off of each other. It was just such a good vibe. People were so kind. Me and a group of us went to Google. We checked out their merch store, and again, we were walking around the campus, and we would just stop employees and be what do you do? What's your advice to college students that are trying to break into the tech industry? So it was really cool just seeing some of those people's different perspectives, especially if someone that works at a company with so much clout and cachet as Google, you know what I'm saying? So it truly was just a phenomenal experience going there. After that, the biggest surprise of the evening was we hung out with an influencer named 02Pseudo, like that's his like username. Genuinely, this man is the reason I got this application thing in the first place. I would never have known this program existed if he didn't like produce the early access link. Being around people like him genuinely like give me such a drive and hunger to like be great and successful. He's just so informative. Like it was like a group of like 8 or 9 of us, no, 11 at the end of it, and we all literally like, he got us all milkshakes, he got us all food. And he was just super knowledgeable on the direction of the recruiting path, which I'll talk a little bit more about in another video, the direction of recruiting in like the modern day, especially for big tech. Being around people that are just so knowledgeable and informative, it's so eye-opening and it's so worth it, and that's why you need to get out of your shell and like apply to some of these different programs. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was fairly informative on what my entire process was like. It was a bit of a like info vlog kind of style. I haven't done it in a while, but yeah, no, I really hope that you found some value in today's video. As always, please be sure to check out the description below. I'll link a crap ton of resources that will help you become a bit more technical savvy, some resources to help you, understand some of the recruitment process more, and obviously I'll link Pseudo's page, because genuinely have his notifications on Instagram set, because he posts like stories he posted like 5 stories when we were sitting down having dinner with him. So it genuinely, like he finds something out and he's moving. So he's a great like resource to have. Yeah, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck in your tech journey, and I'll see you next time on Quartz Corner.